Have you ever felt like you're stuck in an invisible box, even when you're around people? Yeah, loneliness hits different. But what if I told you there's a way out? In this video, we are breaking down how you as a firstborn can escape that trapped feeling and actually connect with people. No fake vibes, just real ones. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly how to turn loneliness into a firstborn life that actually feels full with blessings. Have you ever found yourself in a room of people, yet feeling completely alone? That strange, unsettling feeling of being surrounded by others but still feeling like an outsider? You see, loneliness, it is an experience that touches everyone at some point. Loneliness is a silent struggle that can creep into your life, making you feel as though you do not belong or that something is wrong with you. Loneliness doesn't necessarily stem from physical isolation. Rather, it arises from emotional and social disconnection. It is possible to feel lonely even when you are surrounded by friends, family, and co-workers. The reason is because loneliness speaks to a deep human desire for meaningful connections. As humans, we crave relationships where we feel seen, we feel heard, and we feel understood. Yet, for various reasons, many of us firstborns, we shy away from making those connections. And this is why we are going to explore why loneliness happens, how it impacts us, and most importantly, how we can overcome it to build a fulfilling social life. Now, let's talk about the universality of loneliness. One of the biggest misconceptions about loneliness is that it only affects certain types of people. Sometimes we hear that it affects people who are introverted, people who are socially awkward, or people who are isolated. The truth is, loneliness is universal. At some point, every single person on this planet has felt its sting. Even those with seemingly large circles can experience deep loneliness, even inside their social circles. Loneliness is not just about being alone, it's about feeling alone. You can be in a room with people and still feel disconnected. This emotional isolation can be just as painful as physical isolation. Studies show that loneliness affects mental and physical health. Prolonged loneliness has been linked to depression, anxiety, heart disease, and even a weakened immune system. It is not just a passing feeling. It is a condition that if you ignore it, it can have a serious impact on every area of your life. But if loneliness is so common, why do we struggle to talk about it? The stigma surrounding loneliness makes a lot of people feel ashamed to admit it. We often assume that admitting to loneliness makes us seem weak or undesirable. In reality, acknowledging that you are lonely is the first step to overcoming it. If humans are wired for connection, why do so many of us firstborns hesitate to build relationships? This answer lies in our past experiences and ingrained beliefs as firstborns. And these experiences and ingrained beliefs include 1. Fear of rejection. You see, one of the biggest barriers to connection is the fear of being rejected. Whether it's from childhood experiences, failed friendships, or past heartbreaks, rejection stings. Over time, this fear can cause firstborns to avoid social situations altogether. 2. Past hurts and betrayal. Many of us firstborns have been hurt in the past. Perhaps a close friend betrayed our trust, a loved one abandoned us, or sometimes, as a firstborn son, you were bullied in school and you had no one to talk to. These experiences create emotional wounds that make a lot of firstborns hesitant to trust others again. Number 3, low self-worth. Loneliness often stems from the belief that you as a firstborn is not good enough, interesting enough, or even valuable enough to the point that other people want to connect with you. You see, this negative self-perception becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe that no one wants to know you as a firstborn, that belief makes you act in ways that push people who may be interested in you away. Number 4, social anxiety. For some firstborns, social interactions feel very overwhelming. The pressure to say the right thing, act a certain way, or fit into social norms can make connections feel more like a chore than an opportunity. And so understanding these fears is crucial because it will allow you as a firstborn to challenge them. We have to admit, most people carry these fears. But the firstborns who overcome loneliness are those who push past these fears. It is easy to convince yourself that you don't need people. You might say, I'm fine on my own. Or you say, I don't need anyone to be happy. Well, I'll tell you this. While independence is important, the truth is that human beings are biologically wired for connection. Attachment in some form, healthy attachment, is essential for us to strive and to continue society. Studies on human behavior show that social bonds improve overall well-being. It also increases lifespan and even boosts immunity. And so, it is not a weakness to need other people when it matters. It is a fundamental part of being human. Even those who say, I only need God, must understand that faith is not meant to replace human relationships. While spiritual connection is crucial, God often walks through people to provide comfort, support, and companionship. And so, recognizing your need for connection as a firstborn is the first step. The next step is actively working to build those connections. Now, Let's talk about how to overcome loneliness and build meaningful connections that will help you as a firstborn to flourish and prosper. You see, loneliness doesn't disappear on its own. It takes effort. It takes you to be vulnerable, and it requires you to be courageous to build strong relationships. And so here are practical steps to help you break free from isolation. Number one, take the first step. You see, many people are struggling with loneliness just like you. The difference between those who stay alone and those who build relationships that flourish is all about taking the first step. So, you start small, smile at someone, ask how they are doing, or simply join a good conversation. Number two, be vulnerable. You see, a lot of people who appear to have it all together usually don't. Social media and public appearances often mask the struggles a lot of people are facing. When you open up about your struggles to the right people, you will notice that those other people will begin to feel safe around you, and they'll reciprocate by opening up about their own struggles to you too. If you understand this, you begin to see that vulnerability fosters deep, authentic connections and conversations. Number three, change your negative thinking patterns. Loneliness often comes with negative self-talk. Example, I am not interesting enough. Nobody likes me. I'll never fit in. You need to challenge these thoughts as a firstborn. Are these thoughts based on facts, or are they just fears? Replace them with positive affirmations. Say to yourself, I am worthy of good friendships. People, interesting people, do want to connect with me. And also say to yourself, I have value to offer. Number four, take social risks. You see, connections require effort. This is why joining a new group, attending a social event, or simply messaging an old friend will require effort. Taking social risks might feel uncomfortable at first, but the truth is this: growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Number five, practice empathy. Loneliness is not just about receiving connection. It is all about giving it. When you focus on being a good listener and showing genuine interest in other people, you will notice that people will naturally gravitate towards you. And so one of the easiest ways to build friendships is to be a great listener. Ask questions, remember details about people's lives, and show that you genuinely care. People who feel heard and understood are more likely to form deeper bonds with you. Number six, find like-minded communities and join them. You see, sometimes loneliness persists because we are in the wrong circles. Finding people with similar interests can make a huge difference in our lives. whether it's a hobby group, a support network, or a faith-based community. As a firstborn, when you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, it will increase your chances of forming deep connections. Number 7, seek professional help if you think you need it. If loneliness feels overwhelming, seeking therapy or counseling can help. Sometimes these sessions can make it easy for you to identify and root out deep-rooted beliefs that are dangerous to you, and also past trauma that could still be having an effect on how you function in the present. A professional, a very good professional, can help you navigate these challenges. You see, you have to come to the point where you can understand that you are not alone. Loneliness is a shared human experience. But as a firstborn, it does not have to be a permanent one. The first step to overcoming loneliness is recognizing that you are not alone in your feelings. Everyone, including comedians, at some point has felt the same way. Connections take courage. It requires you to be open. It requires you to take risks. And also, it will challenge your fears. But the reward, deep, meaningful relationships, is worth it. As a firstborn, you deserve connection. You deserve friendships. You deserve to be seen and understood. And most importantly, you have the power to take that first step towards a life filled with love, companionship, emotional security, and happy belonging. And if you're yet to, do well to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It is the free way you are helping us to build our growing community of firstborns. Thank you, and see you in the next one.